So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, you know what I was thinking of over a couple of days, that, you know what, I've been making a lot of Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo fights, Canelo videos, and maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on Saunders. Maybe Saunders has a better chance than I think. There is a few people, listen, vast majority of people are picking Canelo to win the fight. But am I being too harsh on Saunders? Does Saunders have a better chance than I am giving him? Maybe. Maybe Saunders is going to do a job on Canelo. Saunders looks in great shape. He's in tip-top condition. And maybe I'm wrong. It's only my opinion. It's just my thoughts on their career so far and what I think is going to happen. I just think Canelo's a beast right now. But I hope Billy Joe proves me wrong. I really hope. And I hope he proves millions wrong, thousands wrong. That, you know, that he can win this fight. I also thought about it. You know, I've been going back and forth with quite a few people about me thinking Canelo's going to win. And I thought, I made a video the other day and I had to go at certain fans, and I look back at that and I think, nah, I think I'm a bit harsh there. I think I was a little bit harsh. And I shouldn't have said some of the things that I said. I'll tell you why. Because I've been emotionally invested in fighters like Amir Khan, like Manny Pacquiao. And at times I've come across bias with those fighters, Pacquiao and Khan. I've been biased. So now you've got other fans that are emotionally attached to Billy Joe, right? And they feel the same way about Billy Joe. But because I'm a neutral when it comes to Canelo and Billy Joe, I'm not emotionally attached to either guy. I'm giving my honest prediction without actually taking into account that these people that are wanting Billy Joe to win, they may be emotionally invested in Billy Joe. Just like I am with fighters that I might want to win. So even though, like I said, I've always been kind of most of the time neutral about anyone that I speak about. But at times, sometimes I can come across a little bias, especially when I'm talking about Khan or Pacquiao, because I really, really love their styles, love their fighting styles. Both of those guys got me into the sport. But there's maybe a lot of people that comment in my comment section have the same feeling about Billy Joe. And like I said, Billy Joe is a slick fighter. Maybe his resume is not the greatest because of the fact that, you know, maybe the opportunities didn't present himself. Maybe he wasn't as marketable. Maybe he was a risk. Maybe things didn't fall his way. But let me tell you this, that I hope Billy Joe pulls this off. As a British fight fan, why not? Why not? You know, upsets are always good. It's good for British boxing if Billy Joe pulls this off. Forget not just his community, but I'm talking for the British public. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is a British fighter. It's great for British boxing if he was to pull off this win, because then we've got a rematch, then British boxing booming, Saunders becomes a huge star. You know, even if he then just say was to lose a rematch, for example, he still becomes a huge star, and British boxing booming. You may get a huge showdown of 70,000 seat stadium showdown against Chris Eubank, you know. So maybe I have been a little harsh on Billy Joe Saunders, and maybe I haven't taken into account some fans that are emotionally invested in Billy Joe. Because now I think everybody that comes to my channel, whenever I make a video about Saunders Canelo, they maybe think that, oh, this guy is just going to be talking crap about Saunders, and they actually think that I hate Saunders or I want him to lose. I don't. I genuinely don't. It's just my honest opinion about what I think is going to happen. You don't have to agree with it. Maybe I might have egg on my face after the fight. But trust me, one thing I always say is that if I'm wrong, right? After the fight, I will have the same energy and I'll give Billy Joe all the credit he deserves. Don't worry about that. You'll notice that, and I've done that before. I've done that before where I've got things wrong and I've come out and said, you know what, fair play. So if Billy Joe pulls this off, this will be massive for British boxing. It'll be massive for him. And I hope he does pull it off. I hope for his fans, the fact that he's British, hope he can do British boxing a massive, you know, imagine what it does for British boxing if Canelo pulls this off. And like people point out, it's not impossible. It's going to be tough. Let's not kid ourselves. Canelo is pound for pound the best in the world. In terms of when people are saying it's a 50-50 fight, it's not a 50-50 fight. A 50-50 fight is a fight where people view the other guy as an equal chance of winning. And let's be honest, the bookies have Canelo a huge favorite going into the fight. It's definitely not a 50-50 fight. Stylistically, can Billy Joe Saunders cause Canelo issues? Yes, because we've seen fighters in the past cause Canelo issues with that kind of slick style. However, Canelo has come on leaps and bounds. Billy Joe Saunders has been very inactive. His career's not been how it should have been. You know, he should have fought a lot more top fighters by now, but maybe he will rise to the occasion. Now, a lot of people say Billy Joe Saunders is like Tyson Fury. It's hard for me to put him on that level just because of the fact that Tyson Fury, for me, like, everybody knows what I think about Tyson Fury. I think he's the best heavyweight in the world. Everybody knows what I think about Tyson Fury's ring IQ, his boxing brain. I think it's the second to none. I think he's the best heavyweight, and he's one of the best fighters in the world. Top 10 pound for pound for me. Tyson Fury. Billy Joe has an opportunity to become a top 10 pound for pound if he can defeat Canelo. Listen, it's going to be very, very difficult because Canelo right now, he's mentally and physically in another place. He's very confident right now. He's in a different place mentally, physically, and he's got a bit between his teeth. He's living the life. You see him in the gym. He's looking fantastic. Canelo's in great shape right now. Have you seen his physique? He's unbelievable. He's a gym rat, Canelo. He literally lives in the gym. He's such a great fighter, hard worker, just stays in the gym, determined, dedicated. It's gonna be difficult to beat him. Very difficult. But hopefully, if Billy Joe has had a great training camp, he looks in great shape, he's saying all the right things, can he pull it off? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because he's gonna have to beat the brakes off Canelo. I don't think it's gonna be a case where he's gonna have to beat the brakes off him. It's gonna be very, very tough. He's gonna have to withstand that constant pressure of Canelo, walking him down, hitting him hard. These are things that Billy Joe's going to have to withstand for 12 rounds. Is he going to have the stamina? All of these things have to be on point. They literally have to be on point. Because if they're not, if there's any chink in your armor, Canelo Alvarez will exploit it. He will exploit it. So Canelo right now is in fantastic shape. He's looking great. He's ripped, lean. He's been in back-to-back camps. And another thing is the fact that Canelo fought in December, fought in February, now fighting in May. Is it going to affect his body? Is it going to have a toll on his body? Is his body going to be is he going to be lackluster? Is he going to be not as sharp? And someone like Billy Joe Saunders, who's quick, who's moves, who's agile, who's very fast, could he give Canelo trouble? A lot of trouble. Possibly. It's not impossible, but it's a tough ask because Canelo right now is like I said, mentally and physically he's in a different place. He's in a different place. So Billy Joe Saunders is going to have to put in my opinion, it will be the best British win by a British fighter abroad of all time. I think it surpasses everything. I know people talk Sugar Ray Robinson and Randolph Turpin, But I think this might even surpass that. Just because of where Canelo is in his career, where Saunders is in his career, I think this surpasses everything. This would be a phenomenal win. This would be a phenomenal win. He would, for me, this would be the biggest. There isn't a bigger win. You know, could we say... Nah, I don't think there's a bigger win than that. There isn't a bigger win. I don't think so. I personally think Saunders beating Canelo will be the biggest British win overseas. And it would be massive. It would be massive for Saunders. And like I said, it's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. Canelo's in great shape. He's looking well. Billy Joe Saunders is looking well. He's going to come and like I said, he's going to box. He's going to box and try to outbox Canelo for 12 rounds. You know, he needs to, obviously stay away from exchanges, not go look to, and he has to be at range. He needs to box at range, man. He can't look to get in close and trade with this guy because Canelo's very powerful. He needs to box and move, box and move, box and move, box and move. Be very fast, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And let's see how Canelo adapts, adjusts. Let's see what Canelo does. It's going to be interesting, very interesting. But maybe I've been being too harsh on Billy Joe. Maybe by me saying some of the things I'm saying, I might be wrong. He may be able to pull this off. Who knows? Who knows? Like I said, it's only me giving my opinion. I'm not right. I don't know what's going to happen. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, you know. It's only a prediction. I know some people get riled up, but I could be wrong. But hopefully it's a good fight. You know, I've said to a few people that if Billy Joe is having success in this fight, this may not be a very exciting fight because he has to make the fight dull and boring because he has to outbox Canelo and make Canelo miss. Thing is with Canelo's also got great head movement. He's also a very slick fighter in terms of he's not easy to hit him, as Callum Smith found out. Billy Joe Saunders is obviously a lot more nimble and a lot more faster than Callum Smith. Callum Smith is a more powerful fighter, a longer, rangier fighter, hits harder than Saunders. But Saunders is a lot slicker. It just depends. If, like I said, Canelo for me has improved at that. Canelo's not the fighter he was, the one that fought Lara. He's improved. And I think this is going to be, this is going to show how much Canelo's improved. I think this is going to be, this is going to tell us how much Canelo has improved since he fought Lara. Since he fought someone that tries to box him. How much has he improved? Trout gave him trouble. Khan gave him trouble. Everybody that was a boxer, Cotto gave him trouble. Everybody that boxed with Canelo gave him trouble. So Billy Joe Saunders is going to box him. How much trouble is he going to give Canelo? It's only time will tell. Time will tell. But like I said, I do apologize to some subscribers if you feel that I've been a bit harsh. It's by no means trying to get under anyone's skin. It's just at times, you know, certain people say certain things, and I, like I said, get involved in social media, and I'm trying to keep away. But by no means am I trying to do it to antagonize anybody. This is just me giving my opinion. At times I can get too emotionally involved, especially if someone says something, then I get stuck. And at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinion. You are, I am. And that's what it is. There's no biasness here. There's just me giving my honest opinion on what I think is going to happen. Hopefully Billy Joe can produce the goods on the night. Even if he loses, which he's expected to, he puts in a great performance. He puts in a great performance and gains respect from it. Listen, if he puts in a good performance, goes 12 rounds, loses a decision, you know what? I'll say to him, fair enough. I'll definitely respect that. Even if he gets knocked out and he puts up a great fight, you know, it is what it is. You're going in there against the best. You know, you were there to be great, and you know you came up short against one of the best in the world. You know, there's no shame in that. There's definitely no shame in that. What I wouldn't want is if Billy Joe was to come up short, is for him to disappear and just retire. Don't do that. Billy Joe Saunders, he's got a lot to offer in boxing. And in terms of even fighting on, he's still young. You know, he's not had that many hard fights at all. He's still pretty fresh. So hopefully, even if he was to come up short, hopefully he doesn't just disappear. I wouldn't want that for Billy. I think he should fight Chris Eubank, fight some of the other top guys. But it would be sad if, he does like a Nazim Hamed and just disappears. Because Naz had so much more he could have given. And so much more he could have done. He was only 28 when he retired. And Saunders, what's he, 31? He could easily fight another 4 or 5 years. Right? So I hope that he doesn't just, if he was to come up short and just disappear, that would be gutting, because we need more characters. Remember, we've got people getting on now. People are disappearing from the sport. Kell Brook's going to be finished. Amir Khan's going to be finished, right? If Saunders loses and disappears, that's another great, so hopefully Saunders still young, he's still fresh, he's still in his prime. We've got Joshua Fury, but a lot of the other divisions, cruiserweight, we've got Lawrence Okoli. Light heavyweight, we've got, some young guns coming through. Buatsi, Yards had a bit of a blip. There's Lyndon Arthur. There's other guys coming through. Then at super middle, we've got, Billy Joe. Callum Smith has moved up to light heavy. But yeah, super middle, we haven't got that many, to be honest. Middleweight, we've got Chris Eubank. But we don't know what Chris Eubank's doing. We've got Liam Williams, who's fighting Andrade for the world title this week. Who we got? Light middle. Well, light middle, we've got some young guns coming through. We've got Liam Smith, of course. At welter, we've got, Conor Ben. So, there is a few fighters that, to look out for. There is definitely a few fighters. And obviously, Josh Taylor. There are definitely a few fighters. But obviously, Saunders is still a guy that I think's in his prime. So, hopefully, Saunders... he's got another good 5-6 years left. Even if he was to come up short, there's other big fights I want to see. I would love to see Saunders fight Eubank again. I would love to see Saunders fight Charlo. I would love to see Saunders fight Benavidez. I'd love to see Saunders fight all of them. Saunders, man, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He just needs to, for me, after Canelo, whether he wins or loses, he needs to become more active. He needs to fight more. Not fight once every now and then. Fight more, become active. Just become active. Want to see this guy fight more. I feel a lot of the British fighters, man, they need to be more active. Need to fight more. And some of the American ones as well. Fighters nowadays are just not active as much. They should minimum fight 2 times a year. Minimum, man. Twice for a top fighter. Should be fighting twice. Billy Joe needs to get active. And hopefully, like I said, I just really hope that whatever happens after Billy Joe fights on, he doesn't just disappear. Because like I said, for me, he's still got 4 or 5 years left. He's very fresh. Like I said, he hasn't taken a lot of punishment. He hasn't really had a lot of hard fights. Andy Lee, Eubank, yeah, they were split decisions, but they weren't fights where he took a lot of punishment or, where he got, So hopefully, Billy Joe doesn't just disappear into the sunset. Because like I said, Billy Joe is a good fighter, and for me, he's got a lot more to offer. Even if he was to lose against Canelo, there's still so much more out there for him that he could do. Eubank fight would be huge. Especially if he puts in a good performance against Canelo. Him and Eubank could be massive. 50,000 easy they could sell out here in a stadium somewhere. It would be a huge fight. And the rivalry, the bitterness, imagine how big that would be. Imagine how big their rematch would be. It'd be huge, especially if Eubank can get hold of a middleweight world title, again, like fight Murata and become the world champion. Imagine how big that fight would be, Eubank and Saunders. That'd be huge. That'd be huge. So, let's see, man. Let's see how this all plays out. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.